I want to know how much money you make from doing it. Mr. Russell Kent Nicholls, ladies and gents, selling, upselling and offering digital products.
I always used to say, if you can sell one, you sell 1,000. The only thing that's limiting you there is just your marketing. I think SEO is a load of shite, to be honest. In the 4 years, I probably made about...
Hey, be sure you stick around because we're only getting warmed up.
It's about 42,000 people have downloaded the free one.
Right, do you want an intro? I'm going to do an intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Think Wedding Business. Today's a really cool one. It's slightly different, but I think it's something that people are going to get a lot of benefit from, and it can certainly do a lot for, I think, every type of industry, not just the one industry. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, we have another videographer on the podcast. I wonder how that happened.
Can I just say, it's the third or fourth time we've had a videographer on the bounds, but we've not spoken about videography, and I think that's the key thing. I think today's episode and all the others can be applied,
yes,
or should be applied to whatever niche you're in. So I promise we'll get someone else on a different aspect of the industry next time. Yeah. But
well, it is.
But go on, tee him in.
Yeah, great pleasure to introduce Mr. Russell Kent Nicholls, ladies and gents. Yeah. And what's really interesting about Russell's story, there's lots of interesting stories, but one of the things is he manages to make a passive income by selling, upselling and offering digital products through his website, through his social media. So we're going to let him tell you what that actually is.
Okay. Shall we let him say hello first?
Go on, say hello. Say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for coming on,
Russell. You're welcome. Thank you very much.
You don't like Russ, do you? Sorry, I called you Russ.
No, that's reserved for parents only. Yeah.
Sorry, Russell.
If I'm in trouble or if dinner's ready.
I'm sorry, Russell Kent Nicholls. I didn't mean to slur.
I'll let you off.
Russell Kent Nicholls, renowned international videographer, etc. But as you've said, you're doing really well with your digital products. So if we can just dive straight into how that started and why you started doing that.
And how much money you make from it. That's the really important question.
That's what everybody wants to know. Yeah.
Give us some background.
I'll touch on that in a bit. But yeah, so basically, I think it was 2020, which is 4 years ago now. And we were in lockdown, and I think I'd had a lot of weddings cancelled. And I was looking to grow my brand in terms of just exposure and maybe make some passive income along the side to supplement my cancelled weddings. So I thought I'd give making video presets, also known as LUTs, a go. And I made a few LUTs and put them up for sale on my website. My website is built on the Shopify platform, which is not probably your first choice for most people's kind of hosting platform, but it was the website platform that I had the most experience on from my previous job, which was an e-commerce business that I ran for 14 years. So I already had some background in kind of product building, product design and graphic design. And yeah, I put these presets together. Didn't really think anybody would download them or buy them. And when I launched them, I had a strategy of also offering a free one. And the free one really was kind of my entryway into increasing my website traffic and kind of getting people to sign up to my mailing list, capture. That was my payback really for offering the free download, was people's data. Obviously they consented to that when they downloaded it. So yeah, I started off with the LUTs and put a YouTube video of the free download onto YouTube. And within a few months, the views started climbing from like 5,000, 10,000. I think I'm probably on like 100,000 views now of that. So every day I've got about 50 people downloading the free LUT from all over the world. And then that was kind of like my starting point for, right, I'm getting this traffic. How can I really maximize that?
Even if you have no desire to sell anything, just having that free download, just for the website traffic alone, must be worthwhile.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of like wasted traffic in the sense that most people just come on and download the free item and never hear from them again. But I'll touch later on about email workflows and incentives of how to enter clients into an email workflow and kind of retargeting practices and stuff like that. And this is all skills that I learned in my previous business. But you had part of this question that you asked me was, you said, what are they? And then there's another bit as well, but I've forgotten what you actually asked me.
Why you started doing them?
Yeah, so good question. That was it. Yeah. So it was really for the passive income side was kind of secondary because I never really expected it to take off because I didn't think anybody would care. But it was mostly for a personal challenge because I like to see if I can achieve something that I set my mind to do. But also from an authority perspective, not only for people within the wedding industry or wedding filmmakers, but also for potential clients. What I was hoping was that they would land on my website looking to book me for videography, but then come across my education side to my business and see that, oh, this guy knows his stuff. He's offering things to support other filmmakers. So a bit like when we chatted before the call about the kind of student versus teacher approach, showcasing my authority to potential clients kind of justified my pricing, I guess, for my wedding films, and being able to actually mention during the booking process that I color grade my your wedding film with these presets that are like the #1 searched preset on Google and all that kind of stuff. It was all around that kind of brand image. Also helped to increase my Instagram following as well, because within the messaging of the download emails and things like that, there's prompts there like tag me in the videos that you make with these LUTs. I'd love to see. So the Instagram following was kind of growing from there. And yeah, just overall brand awareness really, and just by luck, I guess, and a bit of hard work, it worked out.
I think it does so much, doesn't it? Because it's not just about how much money am I going to make from selling things on my website. It makes you stand out in the industry. It gets you a ton of website traffic, which is great for Google.
Mm-hmm.
It does make you some money on the side as well, which is brilliant.
Well, I think the best thing from a client point of view, like you said before we hit record, if a couple is looking at 5 different videographers and yours has a whole subsection of all these things that you sell, and like you say, that authority versus the other 4 that don't have that, it's just something that stands out and they go, oh, he's obviously a cut above the rest because he does all this. People buy his LUTs and he's an educator within the space, sort of thing.
Something we've always done, isn't it?
It's trust, isn't it, from a couple's point of view? Like, he must be good because people buy all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we've always taught, hasn't it? How can you stand out from your competition? And it's doing things like this, awards, making yourself look like the expert in the industry, extra things you do, being an educator on it. It's you're standing yourself. You're setting yourself apart from your competition. So brilliant, well done for you.
What happened after that with the free one? Obviously, you're getting all that traffic and people buying that, and then you expand from there.
So
I want to know how many emails you captured, or so ongoing. But
so far, it's about 42,000 people have downloaded the free one. I am
got all of their emails on a list, and you can make use of that if you so wish.
Yeah, not all of them have subscribed, obviously, because you have to give them the option to subscribe to
for sure, to
the GDPR and all that stuff. But yeah, it kind of took an interesting turn because in 2021, I noticed when people were buying the paid ones, I would always have a look and see who it was. And I woke up one day and had a look, and it said that it was downloaded by my videographer icon, which is White and Reverie in the USA. And I was thinking, okay, what's going on here? I was like, is this a shade? Something shady's going on here, or they've like downloaded it because they want to use it? What, they have their own LUTs? What is going on here? I didn't say anything. I just left it. And after a few days, they reached out to me and said, we are actually part of Gamut, which is how would I describe it? Like a resource for LUTs and education on color grading for wedding filmmakers. And I've missed an important point here. I actually added another LUT collection to my downloads probably about 6 months in, and that was the one that they purchased. Anyway, they really liked it, and they said, we want to offer you an opportunity. I won't go into the business details of it, but basically for it to become a Gamut exclusive, this particular color grading LUT. And there was like terms and conditions about what I can and can't do with that. And it was basically belonging to them, and it was available exclusively on the Gamut website. And they tweaked it, they improved it, and then it became launched for sale, I think August 2021. And that really started to ramp up the income for me to their existing customers. My own website sales dropped quite a lot from that, because it was all of the traffic was going via that particular link, but in the volume was there, and the price was there, the market was right for that. So I was really
you sold your product to a
distributor, basically.
Distributor, yeah. And like you say, the trade-off, like the volume that they're able to generate as an established thing, was much better than selling them yourself, sort of.
Absolutely, yeah. And then with also with the income from that was the brand awareness from that, to be listed on their collaborators page alongside people that have got like hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers that have been like doing conferences and all kinds of things. I was like, whoa, okay.
And some of the listeners won't know the specifics of Gamut and what that is, but in our videography industry, they're worldwide. They're like
so the gold standard of color grading.
Yeah, the gold standard of color grading.
Okay,
platform.
Yeah. So when you sold that to them, then were you getting commission on each sale they made?
Pretty much, yeah. So that's how it works, and I don't have it anymore. Basically, it's not my product.
So they took ownership, but you just get a cut out of it, sort of.
Yeah, absolutely. That they were very much wedding focused at the time, but they've since expanded from there. So weddings is a part of Gamut, but the kind of general market for LUTs, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. They do all kinds of LUTs now, basically. So
I suppose, but the more they expand, the better it is for you in terms of sales, I suppose.
That's it. Yeah, the more market reach that they can gain will benefit me in the long run. So yeah, that was incredible. From there, it kind of made me think, right, look back at my own website. What more can I offer to my clients that maybe aren't looking for video presets, but might want other types of digital products? So I launched an ebook, which was a PDF with just over 100 kind of bullet points of things that I've learned. It's called 100 Things, and it's a book about all of the kind of tips and tricks that I have learned over the years of what's worked for me in terms of growing my branding and gaining experience in the wedding industry, basically. And then I launched the iOS shortcut. So that is a shortcut that runs on your phone that will basically scan your calendar for events with a specific criteria. That's all detailed in the instructions. And this is a completely free shortcut that will basically take some of the work off of you for contacting clients ahead of their wedding to arrange a Zoom call. Or
I downloaded that this morning. And I think everybody who listens to this podcast should.
Well, maybe we could
do the same thing.
Maybe we could link in the description, because this shortcut automates part of your email process, your admin and stuff, and in terms of like booking couples. And
if you're already using a CRM, is it called a CRM, customer relationship manager? Yeah, like Dubsado or Studio Ninja, then you probably won't need it. But for me, I'm always looking for a shortcut, basically.
A free way to do stuff without paying every month.
Yeah. So it's basically a little shortcut that lives on your phone. Every day will send out an email if there's an event.
17 hats that you mentioned.
Yeah, automated 17 hats, an automated service.
But I'm aligned with you in that I'm tight and I don't want to pay one of these services. And I know they're brilliant, and I know it would probably save me time, but I'm a little bit OCD with. I like to have control over every aspect of all of it.
That's it, yeah.
And I like to know that I've physically written down that couple's booked in.
That's
So there's a trust thing, but I think
Yeah.
with, and because I'm Apple, the fact that
Yeah.
shortcuts are through Apple and it would all be
Yeah,
synced.
feels all very official for me as well. Like being an iCloud guy, it makes things a lot easier. Right?
Yeah.
And
So I think we can link it because I think I think for our listeners that'd be great to check out. But this is great. This point where you decided to expand into like non-videography products. Because that's going to reach like the whole industry, and certainly for our listeners, this is the whether you're a florist or a DJ or whatever.
That was what I was going to ask.
There's
Russell,
plenty of things that you could be offering yourself, isn't there?
Yeah. What are potential offerings for a singer like me or a magician or a florist? What kind of digital products do you think would work for us in that scenario? I mean, what you were saying there about your 100 tips, I imagine that's just across the board. It's not related just to filmmakers. It's across the board, regardless marketing your business.
There is a lot on camera settings in there and kind of lens choice kits.
Yeah, but in your specific niche, you could talk about a singing one, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Or if you're a florist, you could talk about arranging flowers and stuff. But I know you offer templates, pricing brochures.
So release those late last year.
Contract templates and things like that.
Yeah, so not contract templates, but more like pricing brochures. Because I know a lot of people are like just sending out plain emails with the pricing on, and there you go. And I just love PDFs. I absolutely love. I could make a PDF.
I'm in the process of designing one. I've been doing it for about 6 months, and I've still not finished it. So, but I get it because it looks polished and it looks nice. And for some type businesses and some people aren't as graphically interested. Than to have it done for you.
You need to get Russell's. It's amazing. I looked at them this morning as well.
But I think graphic design is an interesting one, isn't it? Because you can look at something and be like, I really like the look of that, and then you can have a go yourself. And unless you're kind of design minded, it's just knowing what stuff goes and where stuff goes. Does this look right? Otherwise it's really open ended, isn't it?
I also think there's people that just have no kind of concept of what's a good design and what isn't, and just like I mean we've seen websites that are
shit
in the past that are like not sure they're kind of targeting the right kind of audience, but so for someone like that to have it on offer there from yourself, or if you're someone that is graphically minded, that's a great product to have, isn't it?
I think it's really interesting the fact that Russell you've created your website on a Shopify platform. I've got 2 Shopify stores. And it just makes the whole shopping process dead easy, doesn't it?
I wanted to come on to that.
I've never known a wedding supplier have their wedding website on a Shopify store. That's brilliant.
Does that feed into then being able to sell your products? Do you need to have your website set up as a Shopify store to be able to do it easily?
Not really.
No, not really. So most web hosting platforms such as Squarespace, Wix, they generally have like e-commerce features built in. With the Shopify, it is very much like product pages that add to basket. But I went into the back end of the code and I basically did some if statements in the Liquid code, so that if the product URL contains wedding film, then it will change the add to cart button to an inquiry button, and just kind of making all of those tweaks within their customized. So I've basically ripped it apart.
Yeah. So in order to build your wedding, your main website,
you need some
separate from your products. You've had to like recode a kind of storefront.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody because it's a nightmare. Unless you've got like HTML.
I was going to say, is there any pros to having your whole website set up in Shopify if you want to do digital products? But you could just do a normal website and then embed it in.
Yeah, so there'd be 2 ways of doing it. If you have a Squarespace or Wix website, you could open a Shopify store and just use a buy button. So that basically means that you can use the Shopify e-commerce platform, but just embed the transactional part onto your website. But in all fairness, it makes sense to just use the offering from Wix or Squarespace.
Because yours does look all polished and slick and like consistent though, because you've done it all
I
with it.
spent 4 years looking at it though, and just like changing
Yeah.
bits. And
Yeah, it's probably not feasible for
Well, you
a
could
lot
just
of people.
put a PayPal button on
So
your page.
is
Yeah, you can do that.
anyway, I'm guessing because I've got a Shopify, so I kind of know the rules behind it. So do you pay the fees and everything as a normal Shopify account?
Yeah, so you don't pay any fees on a free download, which obviously would be an absolute killer. If there was a transaction fee for a free download, then it's a non-starter.
Yeah, what if you had 40,000 downloads or something? That would be a lot of money to shell out.
And then it was like £1 per transaction or something.
Yeah.
No, that would not be good. So there's no fee on the downloads. You also get 10,000 with Shopify. You get 10,000 free email marketing emails a month. And that is included in your Shopify Flow or automations as well. So I do have to top that up because the more customers that come in and complete a checkout process, they're getting followed up with a series of 7 emails. The workflow basically starts from a trigger once somebody downloads something, and then I've included if statements in the workflow so that if the order is less than 1p, so it'd be a free order, then they get targeted with discount codes off of the full priced LUTs or other products. Then later on, if they've purchased, because what you don't want to do is if someone pays full price for something, you definitely don't want to target them with a discount for the same product they've just bought the next day. So you need to exclude people that have purchased specific items and maybe target them with a different product after 4 or 5 days. So a lot of my business comes from people that have downloaded the free LUT from YouTube, because you can see all of the conversion details. They then get an email a day later or something with a discount code, and they go, do you know what, I really like the free one, I'm going to buy the pack of 6 or 7 or whatever it is. So and at a discount they can't refuse it. Was that a lot to take in? Sorry, I feel like
I'm thinking how we can do something for our Think Wedding business, how we can create little products and not with a lot of value, not that expensive, or even some free stuff to start with. I think definitely even my own website. Maybe it's a no-brainer for you and your site. Yeah. You could do a similar thing to what Russell does.
I have a couple already. I just don't really advertise it too well.
Yeah,
but I certainly think the free one, if you genuinely give in value and it's something that people, it's not just a gimmicky free thing that isn't actually no use, because I think that's quite transparent. People see through that. But if you're genuinely giving something useful that works, like your LUT, then of course they're going to go, oh well, that was great. Yeah, all right, I'll give him some money because he's earned it almost.
If the free one is crap, then you're doing the complete opposite. You're actually putting people off of your paid products completely.
Exactly. And we've had people who bought our course and paid for that just because they felt like they owed me from my YouTube channel over the years because I'd given them so much free information. There's one, I had a few messages like that where they just went, well, I just kind of felt like I owed you one, so I just bought it because...
It's so funny. Yeah, I did the same with a YouTube channel that I follow, and I was watched all these guys' videos, then he offered a Patreon, and I just bought the Patreon because I did feel indebted to him because his videos were so good, and I felt I learned so much and probably saved money by watching his videos. I just felt it was the right thing to do was sign up. And I must have been on it for about a year and I never even went to the Patreon site at all. I ended up cancelling it after, I don't know, about a year and a half.
Yeah, but that mindset does work, doesn't it?
Like, I mean, I'm working on a book at the minute based around our business strategy from our course that we sell. I'm doing like a simplified version of it to give away as a freebie. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm sure...
think of something else as well that I just wanted to add in, that with Shopify on the checkout, you can people can add a tip. So they never used to have the tip option on the free downloads. So I was a bit gutted about that. But then
I saw it this morning.
Oh, you did?
Sorry, I didn't tip you.
Bye, Russell and Big Mac.
Yeah, pizza money. And the way that I customized the language of that by going into like the change language, which is normally meant for like translating it to like French or whatever. And I was like, nah, I'm going to change the leave a tip to donate pizza money to Russell. And last night somebody bought the free download, but they tipped me $10. And I was like, do you know what? That is the sign of a kind person. So I emailed them and I just said, you're so kind, thank you. I'm going to go and get a Domino's. Not that you can get Domino's for $10 these days.
I
But...
thought you were going to say like, "You're so kind, thank you. Here's some more stuff for being so nice." But you were just you were like, "Thank you. I'm going to get my tea now. Cheers."
I can eat, yay!
It's the buy me a cup of coffee thing, isn't it?
Are you relying on these tips to live off?
Yeah, till April. Yeah, absolutely.
So next question is obviously they're on your website and any traffic to your website, hopefully people see that. But do you advertise them as well outside of that, or?
I've tried it. I actually tried setting up some Facebook ads in 2021 when I launched. So with the Lutz, I kind of added like another one, and then I added another one. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try some Facebook ads. It did work. I always think with Facebook ads for e-com, because I used to run the Facebook ads for my previous business as well, and I always felt like Facebook, they give you good results. It's a bit like online gambling. They give you good results within the first week, and then you run out of budget and you have to top it up again, and then it never performs the same again after that. And I really, really good run on it. Campaign finished, and I thought, shit, I need to top it up. So I did, and it just didn't. It never performed.
They're very
again.
smart, aren't they? Like you say, it's like a fruit machine. They know when to pay out and when not to.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
And then I tried last month. I tried TikTok ads because I thought all the kids are on TikTok these days. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I had calls with TikTok 3 times, account manager, everything. Spent a few £100, absolutely nothing. No results. So I thought, do you know what? My audience, TikTok is not the place for digital products. It's a place for impulse purchases of vacuum cleaners and little tops for dogs, but it's not for like serious.
Yeah, I think that's the importance of building your own crowd, isn't it?
You need to know where your audience is.
Yeah, building your own audience without a doubt.
Because if your products were different, then TikTok might be the place. But
absolutely,
you've got to know what your product is and who's buying it and where they're going to be shopping.
One of the other products that I sell is perfect for TikTok, but we keep getting kicked off, so they won't let us sell on it, unfortunately. Can I ask him? Please, can I ask a question?
Something, yeah, sure. That's what it's an interview.
Really like, and I'm sure a lot of listeners are also interested. We touched on it before.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how much money you make from doing it.
Well, that's pretty much what I was going to go into. I was going to say,
has it replaced your income? And we know it can grow and grow and grow and even more, but what's it look like now?
You don't have to share specifics if you don't want.
No, I'm happy to. I think one of my goals when I moved when I sold the Hestia lot to Gamut was I'm going to get a Tesla. So yeah, I managed to buy a Tesla with the money from that. I'd say in the 4 years, I probably made about £150,000. And the great thing about that is that it's 100% profit before tax, obviously. Yeah. Because there is no physical product to ship. It only cost my time.
Once it's on there, it's on there. It's done.
That's it. And the other thing that I want to mention on here as well is I really try and target the US market with my wording, because there's tax and VAT implications. I don't understand it properly, and someone will probably say that's wrong, but my accountant basically says any transactions for digital products where outside the scope of something, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but there's tax benefits to selling to the US.
Yeah, and there's different tax codes for different states. So some might be 6%, some might be 7%. I think some states there's no percent. So if you can, and you can find out those transactions, you've got no tax to pay on them.
I mean, the US is a huge market, so there's a lot more eyeballs, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other thing as well is that,
and they love, and they do, like, American people. I might be completely naive in saying this, but American people are more open to purchasing, and
I think they are, but they love the English.
Yeah,
don't they?
So I don't know if that's a factor or not.
Yeah, some people might say, I thought he'd be making more than that, or I'm really.
No, I think that's incredible. Like as alongside your wedding videography as well, and it's only going to grow, and it's only growing the more you put into it.
That's it. I'd say my YouTube and Instagram account is small in the grand scheme of things of creators as they go, but from the wedding industry, it's not too bad.
It's pretty good, yeah. And it's
definitely helped.
It's a high quality follower. It's not like I'm guessing a lot of your followers are genuinely interested in your stuff. It's not just volume.
Yeah, and a lot of my followers are wedding filmmakers,
Yeah.
which probably most other wedding filmmakers might think that's weird. But actually being able to grow that that email list and make a passive income from that.
Amazing.
The other thing as well is with the discounts, I'm happy to give away 30%. If you stay on my website, you'll get a pop-up that gives you 30% off. Because my strategy is, and some people disagree with me, my strategy is 30% off free money is still profit because you haven't got a physical product to mark up.
Yeah, and it's just spreading it out more and more, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
We've got a 50% offering discount on our course at the moment, haven't we, Adam?
Yeah, that just kind of is everlasting. It's always 50% off.
It's not. It's finished at the end of February.
No, but we do it all the time, don't we? Because it, like you say, it's just a strategy, isn't it? I was going to say something. No, and as well as that, obviously that is like solid money. But even if it wasn't that much, you've still, as we said, brand awareness, traffic to your website, followers on social media, authority, all those other benefits as well. I think, if anyone's listening to this and thinking like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever get to that level and make that much money. And obviously you got signed up by Gamut and stuff. And I suppose that's a rarity. But even if you're just doing the freebie, it's got to be worthwhile for the website traffic and the network and the email list and
the networking. You just, with this industry, you just never know who is going to get in touch.
Yeah,
you just
and
don't
the actual income, which is pretty good, is a bonus, isn't it? It's not the reason for doing it.
Yeah,
Right?
It's been amazing. And I actually, I haven't worked for 4 months only not because I'm being supported by my digital products, but because I don't like working in winter. And then after paying my tax bill, I was thinking, oh my God.
Oh yeah, we've all had to do that recently.
But I think HMRC have got it in for me. I feel like I'm being treated unfairly, but anyway.
No, they're not, because they've got it in for me.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah.
They've got it in for everybody. It's legalized theft.
Let's not get into that.
I want the receipts of what I'm paying for, to be fair. But yeah, it's kind of giving me a safety net of thinking, okay, I can still with no actual physical work, I can still pay my bills. Or even if people were to make an extra £500 a month, that's a car.
That pays for a car, or you part your mortgage, or
One thing that was really upsetting for me to see when the COVID stuff hit was friends of mine who were going out of business, who couldn't afford to pay the mortgage, and they were living like month by month, and they had nothing else to kind of back it up. They had no other side income, no other side hustle, nothing else that was bringing them income. And it was really sad. And I thought, wow, surely after that experience, everybody's going to be trying to look for other ways to bring a little bit of extra income, even if it is, as you just said, just to pay your bills, to pay, to pay your mortgage, to pay your car payments. It's a no-brainer, and there's so many benefits to doing.
I was just going to say that
what you're doing
after COVID, you'd think that we all learned that lesson of just having multiple income
eggs in basket.
Eggs in baskets, yeah. It's a
we
safety.
Watched our course then, but it wasn't actually intentional for the COVID. It was just the timing of it, really, wasn't it?
If you remember, happened to be COVID, but it turned out that was a big, in terms of cash flow, that was a big.
It helped us at that time,
savior, wasn't it? Yeah,
definitely.
But and also, I always think that I've got a responsibility to my clients to be in business when their wedding comes around as well.
God, yeah.
So, I like to think I'm running an okay business, and that I wouldn't go bankrupt or anything, but just having cushions for anything. If my weddings drop a little bit, it's just something else to keep you topped up in it. I think it's great. What I was just going to ask, how long it's taken you to get to this point? Like how much work have you actually put into it? Or do you on a if you could quantify it on a weekly, monthly basis or whatever?
In terms of putting the work into the digital products, I'd say the first time around probably a week. But I guess I'm always looking on my website to think, right, what can I make better? Well, how can I increase my conversion rate? And there's a few apps that I installed to increase my conversion rate, like the one, the little widgets that pop up to say, oh, so and so bought this. and
Yeah.
you might like this and all of that kind of stuff.
3 seconds ago in Connecticut, someone bought this.
Exactly that.
I saw that. I was on your website yesterday, researching for this, and there was about, within the time I was on your website, there's about 7 different people from around the world that downloaded something.
Yeah. So just little things like that. I was like, I'm going to give it a go, and then it was.
Which I think I was looking at that, and every time one of them popped up, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm missing out on something here. Maybe I should buy one of his things. So it really does work.
I think the app's literally called Fomo or something like that.
You're right.
I'm going to ask, because that'd be good for my Shopify store. What's the name of the application for that one on Shopify?
Let me tell you. Hang on, stay there. I'll just log in.
You shouldn't have started eating sausage rolls.
I hope it's so good. It comes fresh from the butchers.
I love a sausage roll.
Mm.
The app is called, I don't know how you say it, Quickify. It's Quikify sales pop-up. You get a certain amount of traffic included for free, but and then like when you get to your limit and it's like, oh, you need to pay. And I hate subscriptions, Adam. I hate them. And I was like, do you know what? It's $5 a month. It's fine. So far, yeah, 5,000 unique visitors is the limit, but it resets in 4 days' time, so I'm all good.
So how many is that? So it's $5 a month for how many did you say?
5,000 unique visitors on that particular page.
Okay.
I take it you wouldn't offer yourself then a subscription service for your customers if you disliked paying them.
Yeah, I actually tried. I'll be honest with you. I tried the Instagram subscription thing. I don't know if you saw that. It was I did it for 2 or 3 months. I started off with 99p subscriptions, and I made subscriber specific reels, and I was doing stories and polls and tips, and it got to a point where I thought I had about 30-40 subscribers, which I thought was quite good, because I thought I personally wouldn't pay for something on Instagram. It's just how I am. I wouldn't pay. I'd be like, no, I'm not paying for Instagram content. And I thought, it did show me as well, I guess, the people that really do appreciate my support, that they'd be willing to part with 99p.
It shows you who your real core audience is, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I thought I really appreciated people that subscribed. I thought, yeah, fair play to you that you're, even though it's 99p, it's nothing. But I really appreciated having those people that were really interested in interacting with me. But I got to the point where I was kind of running out of ideas and thinking, I know that when wedding season rolls around, I don't want to be having the stress of recording 20 reels in one go for 40 quid a month. It's just absolute pointless. I think unless you're charging £20 a month subscription and you've got 1,000 people, then it's great. But it was just giving myself more to do. I actually ended up just saying to everyone, look, I'm going to discontinue it from February. Really appreciate all of your kind support. And I was giving discount codes and free. A lot of my products I would give them for free as a thank you. Yeah, it was a nice idea. I don't know if I would do it again unless I had the time or like 500,000 followers.
The digital products is the way to go rather than stuff like that.
So what makes a good digital offering? And what advice would you give for anyone that wants to?
So I guess for the listeners, if they are thinking, right, I need to do a digital product, how can I? It's all going to be very industry specific. If you're a photographer, you could offer a free preset, maybe a free guide for industry professionals. I don't think targeting couples with these things is necessarily the way forward, because they're probably not going to want to part with money to learn from you. It's probably a separate strategy. PDF guide perhaps, with exclusive knowledge from your perspective. Maybe I'm just trying to think of different industry.
That's the key point, I think, isn't it? It's your audience is probably your peers as opposed to your couples, your fellow suppliers. I mean, the obvious one for me is I like the pricing brochures. I like the invoice contracts, templates, things like that that are kind of across the board. Yeah. And like you say, if you're hair and makeup artist, there'll be specific things that you can do within that, won't there?
Yeah. And
I suppose the educational element is the key, is the main one that springs to mind.
Definitely. I think I started with LUTs because people would always say that they really like my color grading. So I was like, well, you can have it too now.
So
that kind of way.
so is there any like best practices or strategies? Is it offering the freebie and then?
It was definitely been the key to getting that volume and reaching a global audience. I checked it on like the Google ranking results. If you Google wedding LUTs, I've managed to be very fortunate. Thank you, Google, for like going to number 1 organically as well. So that helped as well.
Yeah.
I guess the YouTube traffic probably added some authority to that in the eyes of the Google algorithm. You just never know where it's going to go.
Do you work on SEO with it? Do you?
I think SEO is a load of shite, to be honest, but I do best practices.
Okay. Well, I know you put stuff on YouTube because when I do my YouTube videos and upload things, I do, because I don't really do traditional SEO, but I do try and do it well with YouTube.
Do the titles,
raise the titles properly, and I use TubeBuddy and a plugin for that. And
I think SEO is like, I think because I've in my previous business, I spent years being mugged off by agencies, and then I realized it's all a load of fluff and that nobody really knows the answer to any of the SEO kind of tricks.
Apart from David Stubbs.
Apart from David Stubbs.
So David Stubbs is a guy based up north who's an SEO expert. We had him on the podcast.
Okay.
And it's funny because Andy watched the podcast, didn't he? And
you don't owe him anything. Don't worry.
He said he did three or four things that he'd learned from the podcast, and he's all of a sudden he was in the top 4 of the Google listing. So depends what it is, though, doesn't it? What it is you're trying to do.
But we've talked about this. But for someone like David, SEO really works, and for someone like Russell, SEO is a load of shit.
Yeah,
and there's no one way to do it. Is it?
It does work. I think just the phrase SEO, like it's something that you need to like go and do. Is
it because you've had a million emails a day saying that?
Yeah.
I've looked on your website and it's shit, and I can fix it for you.
Yeah, from somebody in
miles away.
Yeah,
Malaysia.
That's it. I think maybe with the SEO side of stuff, there's definitely best practices like making sure the content is formatted properly with the right heading titles and alt text for images, and
don't try and pull it back now.
That's another.
If you hate SEO, you own it.
I love
SEO. Spill the tea. Spill the tea. I was going to ask about physical products, or are you?
I've thought about it, but I guess
obviously there's pros and cons. Like digital's a lot easier.
You've got to look at the profitability because there's a lot of hidden costs with physical products. So fees involved, shipping costs, returns, replacements,
returns and like complaints is the worst one, isn't it? Like from Amazon and stuff.
I feel like also I've had that experience before that I thought, do you know what, I'd rather earn money while I'm asleep than have to go to a place, pack stuff, your stock's late, your customers are complaining, you're in shit because you've got this and that. And I think it's a good idea if you've got a really good physical product. I have thought about not merchandise, but like I was looking for a solution for a way to carry
box with your face on and stuff.
Yeah, I know they'd be a big seller, but I haven't got the time. I was thinking like my camera, I was thinking, how can I like carry this thing? There's no proper solution for me. And I was like, right, do you know what? I'm going to make a backpack that, and then I gave up. I thought, do you know what? I can't be asked.
You're not like Peter McKinnon or someone that with that kind of.
Not yet.
No offense. No. I'd buy you a backpack.
I think I'd make a nice backpack, but I can't be bothered. It's not worth the time. And then you've got the advertising costs as well. You're going to have to put them on Google shopping results, and you got to get into the pay-per-click and all of that kind of stuff. It would end up not as profitable.
Yeah. Unless you sold it on Amazon, which they take care of a lot of stuff, but you've still got to
fees involved.
You've got to buy your product. There's obviously MOQs in there, minimum orders you've got to purchase.
Yeah.
And if you're designing something from the ground up, which you probably sounds like you would do, it's a lot of time and money involved in that. And
I only asked because I made a calendar because I wanted a wall chart for putting my bookings on. So I made that, and then I was like, I'll try selling this, and I printed loads off, and I sell them on Shopify.
Nice.
So that's obviously aimed at the wedding world.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not really pushed it too much, but
How many do you sell?
I've sold like 40.
That's right.
Yeah.
40 better than
Yeah.
that.
And I've not really pushed it too much.
I always used to say, if you can sell one, you sell 1,000.
Hmm.
If you sell the only thing that's limiting you there is just your marketing.
Marketing,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I've experienced that. It's the whole like trusting Hermes or whoever sends it in the post, and
Yeah.
there's all the headaches involved with that and stuff. So so in terms of digital versus physical, you're much more an advocate for the digital.
Well, yeah, you don't have to do anything. After you've done the work, it's just 100% profit from there. I did have an idea, I was looking at, and I've never spoken about this or told anybody, but I had an idea. I thought Dubsado is not perfect for what we need. You're working
Again, what's that?
Dubsado. So it's a
the CRM.
It's a CRM.
Okay.
With workflows, lead capturing. And I thought, yeah, Studio Ninja. I don't like the logo of it. No offense, but the word ninja, it's not really for me. I felt that I had an idea about making a photographer and videographer or wedding specific CRM that just takes away all of those features that people are paying for on the other platforms that they're not going to use, make it actually wedding branded. And I reached out to development companies, but the cost of the development and the time, wow, they're talking £100,000 plus.
Yeah.
And I thought,
even your app development and stuff it costs a fortune, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's it.
What sort of functionality would it be when you say specific to the wedding industry?
Yeah, so a bit
what are its key functions?
I can't tell you. No, I mean, it was basically like lead capturing, but with easier to manage workflows with wedding related text in there about a bit like my iOS shortcut, basically.
Okay.
But I think if you try out, you can get a trial of some of the other CRMs. It's very overwhelming, and I think for non-technical people, they'd be like, "What on earth?" Even I found some of it's quite confusing.
I've never dabbled in them because, like partly because of like what you said, it would take me a bit of time to get my head around it, and just never dedicated that time. But
yeah,
I like the idea of an inquiry comes in and it's just automatically put in a thing.
Yeah,
Fly goes automatically back to them, gets put in my calendar. Yeah. Invoices are generated. That's all I'd need, I think.
The other thing as well, though, is that I think another reason why I didn't go onto one of those CRMs was because I actually I want people to actually feel that they're having a personal response from me. Because you can kind of tell when you're getting a reply that's from a canned
that's what I don't
response.
Like. Yeah.
And I think that if you're the nature of our business is so personal, and the connection that we have with our clients is so in depth that it should feel like a heartfelt response.
And there's a lot to be said for giving a personalized response to every inquiry and making them know that you've actually read it and replied accordingly, and it's not just a hi all, thanks for your email.
I think once you've got the booking though and you've made the connection with your couple, something like that is really handy, certainly with regards to sending people terms and conditions or invoicing. Or get them to agree to, like say, your terms.
Yeah.
Follow-up email when the next payment is due and things like that. Once that initial process is done, moving into that system, that's brilliant.
That's your shortcut, isn't it? It's the checks your calendar to see if there's an upcoming wedding. If there is, it sends them an email saying your balance is due or whatever.
Yeah, it covers all of that. I tried to do it several times within Shopify because the Shopify has the Shopify Flow, which is like a flow process of different sequences, but it's really not. I'm clutching at straws there, trying to turn an e-commerce platform into a CRM. They do have add-ons for it, but it's not quite meeting all of the expectations that I would need. But one thing that I do have on my website is if people are on either the homepage or the wedding video page, not on any of the education stuff, but people that are specifically looking to book me for my wedding videography services, because I still do actual weddings as well. They get a pop-up to request a pricing brochure, and then that then goes into a Shopify Flow. So once they've downloaded that brochure, it applies a tag because you can tag customers within Shopify. So
Yeah.
it will tag them with a brochure request tag. Then a flow will run them, check if they have downloaded the brochure. So it'll check if the customer has got the brochure request tag, and then it will send them a follow-up email. So people that download my brochure, essentially, I can keep like a follow-up, like, hey, you got my brochure, do you want to book, kind of thing. And then I could go on from there. But to be honest, with weddings, I don't want to chase and pester people. If they want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't. It's totally cool.
Like you said, it's that personable relationship with it, isn't it? You don't want to
Yeah.
come across too selly with wedding stuff. It's different for your digital products, for your fellow suppliers and stuff, and other industry people. Very different to the communication with couples.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go and write this down, because it's. I was hearing everything you said, and I was like, I'm trying to remember.
Don't worry, this is recorded, Adam. That's
Recorded.
the
Oh yes, of course. If only this was going out
your own
podcast that you could listen to over and over.
I'm definitely going to watch this back, take notes.
Ooh, what's next? What have you got planned, specifically with your digital products? Is there anything coming up in the future, or how are you going to expand it?
I think I'll probably add more Final Cut effects, actually, at some point.
Are they the big seller?
They're not the big seller. They're not the number one. The Canva templates and the LUTs are going to be number one forever, just because of the YouTube traffic driver. But people have been hounding me for years about a course, but the thought of sitting down and filming a course, it really puts a lot of dread in me, because I can't be bothered, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think it's something that,
if we can do it, you could do it. That easy.
I don't think
so. It's a lot. It took a lot of time to film, script, edit together and stuff. But
if I was going to do it, it would be something that I would have to like film over the course of a year, probably.
Yeah, I gloss over it, but it was at the time. It took months and months. But once it's done, like you said,
and I would worry as well that it might any social media stuff, which a lot of people appreciate from me, might be out of date quickly, and then I'd have to go in and add another module. And so I think there is a possibility that I'll be maybe featuring in other people's courses at some point. So nothing directly, but yeah, I don't. From my side, probably just expanding on the Final Cut products, and just keeping an eye out for anything that people asking me for help with, of how I can then turn that into how I can monetize that request. So
the great one, the Canva templates that you sell.
Yeah,
I take it whoever buys it has to have a Canva subscription.
You can use it with a free Canva account. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a paid Canva account just because I don't know why I have, actually. I don't even use it now. I just use it for editing the brochure. Yeah, you can do it with a free account, and they're actually based off of my own personal template. So it's based on a formula that does convert clients. I just changed the fonts and the graphics, and the feedback's been amazing from the templates. People have sent me theirs like before and after, and they said, I don't know if you saw it on my story the other day, someone said, I wanted to show you the before and after. I can't believe I used to send this out to people. How embarrassing. And you don't have to have a paid account. You can just drag and drop your own images, change the text. You'll also get a follow-up email from me with some best practices. So if you're currently attaching a PDF to an email, there's a potential there that PDF, because it's got an attachment, could go into the person's spam folder, or be like 100 meg, and that's just a disaster. So with Canva, the benefit is you can create a public view link, so you can link directly to the Canva template, and they can just browse that on their phone. The other benefit of that as well is that they can, if you update the brochure, they're always going to get that live version. So if you sent the brochure to someone 6 months ago, and then the person goes, do you know what? I'm going to go back on Adam's brochure. He's put the prices up. Do you know what I mean? It will live update, and you can update it from there.
Cool.
That's mega. Cool. I might look into that, because as soon as you said about PDFs landing in junk, I was like a meerkat. My ears pricked up, because obviously I get that sometimes. But I've just used PDF, so anything I can do to offset the risk of stuff going in junk.
Yeah, that was one of the selling points. One of the main selling points.
I'm really struggling with it at the minute. Yeah. Amazing.
Honestly,
Well,
I wouldn't worry. No one replies to me anyway. I haven't booked a wedding in ages.
do you know what? Because I sit there and go, oh, they must all be going in junk. They must not be getting them because no one's got back to me. But I think I'm just getting ghosted, to be honest.
Yeah,
Surely not.
I'm-
Surely not.
I'm ghosted quite a lot.
They're all booking Russell. That's why I'm not hearing back from everyone.
Yeah, I promise you they're not. But yeah, I think I had a couple yesterday write back to me and say, really love the brochure and it all looks amazing, but you're just out of budget. And that's totally fine. And I appreciate
You're going to
they
get that, aren't you?
responded.
You're going to get that.
Yeah. And actually, then in that case, that's okay because I'm not the right fit for you.
It's just nice that they actually replied.
Honestly, how annoying is it? You get nothing.
Yeah.
I always put it in my email, if it's just an email reply that I do, can you please let me know you've got the email? Just let me know your thoughts either
And
way.
also, because and I think that couples might not need educating on this because if they came back and said, look, it's not in our budget, like our budget was this, I would happily go back depending on the right circumstances and go, well, I'll tell you what, I can do this. I'll meet you halfway and like a bit of back and forth. I don't mind
offer something extra
haggling.
or whatever.
Yeah. If they don't want speeches or whatever, that's great because and
half the time they just don't reply. They go, right, it's out of budget, and they just ignore it. And I think if they replied and we actually had a bit of back and forth, probably be able to come to some sort of arrangement.
Definitely.
So I think they're losing out as well. And plus, it's really annoying.
I think it's a British thing because we're too polite to say no, thank you. We would rather hide.
I think so. Yeah.
Whereas I think in other cultures, like in the US, a proportion of my clients are from America. They're always replying.
We're not really comfortable with saying no, are we? So.
No, we're so embarrassed about it of saying like no, thank you, or we would rather just ghost. It's easier.
Yeah,
bury your head. I know, I get it. It's frustrating, but it is like we've all done it. Yeah.
I've done it. If I got like a quote for a new window or something and I thought, Jesus Christ, that's more than I was expecting, I'd be like,
do you know what?
I'm going to hide. I'm going to block you and never go.
Labourers, and they come and quote up, and then you get a text from a week later going, just wondering if you're still in, and I just ghost them. So fair enough. Fair enough.
I did it to the, I hope he's not listening to this, but I did it when I got some quotes for this place.
I don't think he's listening to this.
I really hope not. He does follow me on Instagram though, so
we only have about 10 listeners, and
Grizzly Builder Derek, he's not going to be listening to a wedding film business.
Most of our listeners are in the other room, it's all our relatives.
Got to get the view count up one way.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean that was great, thank you. And all your offerings will link in the description because certainly your Canva templates, your brochures, your shortcuts for workflow, I think they'll be really beneficial for people. So
in the YouTube description,
we'll link them in the YouTube and the podcast descriptions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Is there a discount code?
Yeah.
Of the automatic.
Do you want to decide on a discount code?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Whatever you can do, like think wedding business or something, I guess. So.
What about TWB 30?
30, even better.
Yeah. There will be a discount code linked below.
Thank you. That's very kind, and our listeners and viewers
on the
will
YouTube
love that.
Video.
I guess. I'm making it right now.
I'll go and let Grandma know. She'll be buzzing.
Yes, your grandma's going to be grading with Empire Luts before you know it.
Right, to wrap up, what we ask everybody is, have you please got, and I'm hoping for a good one here, an outrageously funny, embarrassing wedding story. I'm going to drag Rebecca into this. We were at a wedding and we were... Rebecca Carpenter is going to be on the podcast as well soon. So that's nice. That's a good link.
So we were at a wedding and we were starving hungry, and we sat down to eat the dinner, and it came out and it was vegan, and we were like, oh God.
End of story.
Yeah,
that's outrageous. Outrageous.
No offense to vegans, but I haven't eaten a vegetable since '96. I couldn't possibly eat it, and I started eating it, and because it was the only thing I could on offer. And then the waiter comes over with 2 steaks and like another meal and put them down, and we were like, okay, we put the plates back and like put the vegan meals to a side, and we ate the steaks, and then the band come over and they're like, oh, where's our steak that we've ordered? And we were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Not
all gone.
sure.
A bit of gristle in your tooth.
yeah, and they were like, oh, what's this? Vegetables, and then they ended up eating our half-eaten meals.
Excellent.
Half-eaten as well. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Russell only eats like
junk
Domino's,
food.
McDonald's.
I went to it was
like, all the
You
time.
look so healthy considering.
I know. I don't know
That's
how
like-
to do it. The other question we ask everybody is
yes.
if you could swap trades for the day with another supplier at still within weddings,
Yeah, wedding
what would you
supplier.
do if it wasn't videography?
Oh, makeup artist. When I get to wedding, I'm fascinated watching that makeup go on. And I love the products and I
The
love
transformation.
yeah, I could watch it. You know, like the tutorials, the time lapses of like makeup.
You know
I'm
what
like,
someone
wow,
should
those
do?
eyebrows are amazing.
They should do like have you ever seen Bob Ross Joy of Painting? But for painting people's faces, like a makeup artist should do that. Just slap a little I don't know what
Whack the devil out.
what's cocaine white or something on the what's it called?
I love cocaine. That was the Deadpool skit of
No, it's like a little bit of forest white. Slap it all over the face. Like I'd love that. Do you understand the reference at all?
No, I don't, but I can imagine it. It
YouTube
sounds
Bob
hilarious.
Ross. Yeah.
Bob Ross.
It's dead lame, but it's funny. This is the last question from our last guest, Greg, who was another wedding videographer. But his question was, what superpower do you wish you could use on a wedding day and why? And we're going to ask you to leave a question for the next guest as well. But that's yours first of all. What superpower would you use?
I would love to be able to hold the sun and move it to some. This is a new superpower, right? But I'd like to be able to just hold it somewhere and get some good light and maybe like leave it there for a bit longer as well, just so we've got enough time for a couple portraits.
That's a good one.
I actually often think about that. I've got quite a vivid imagination, and I often look at that sun and think, right, if I could fix you there for like just an extra 20 minutes, that would be great.
Perfect.
I like that.
That's like the perfect answer
what
for a
would you do?
filmmaker.
What would you keep it clean?
You know, can't keep it clean.
So I said time travel so I could skip the speeches.
Good. Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I'm hoping that no couples are listening to this because I love speeches. But just the long ones, the ones that go on a bit too long, just skip.
55-minute one.
You know, and like
meant to be 5 minutes.
as long as I know that I've recorded them in the time that I've skipped,
Yeah,
then I'd skip. Yeah,
then that's good. Yeah, Howard's would be to see through people's clothes.
of course it would. Yeah,
Yeah,
That was one of them, but I think to freeze in time, but having it go really slow. The moment when I've got all the crowd going mental, it's really euphoric. It's hard to explain, but then just to slow that down and really.
oh, yeah, that's really sad and boring.
Yeah, I don't know.
I said I'd clone myself so I could stay at home.
You're such a lazy.
yeah. All of Adam's superpowers are basically how to get out of doing his job.
I haven't met a filmmaker who's not lazy.
Thank you,
Mate, it's been brilliant. Thank you, Russell.
coming on. That was
so
really
much.
good. Good fun.
I feel like I've really spilt a lot of tea there with that.
There's some, I mean, you've given
Some
us
real nuggets
genuine
there.
insights, so you didn't have to do that. So thank you for that.
That could be a whole other PDF that I've logged for 50 quid. Do you know what I mean?
Why are you giving this stuff away? You should be selling it.
I'm a nice guy, you know. I'm happy to share the wealth.
You are. I hope that comes across. Can we have a question for the next guest?
Yes, is it wedding related?
Yeah, wedding business
businessy,
related. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it can be something fun like that, I guess, because I like that.
Oh, that was
That's a
fun.
good
Yeah.
question.
So yeah.
Okay, so wedding question. If you could eliminate one part of the wedding day, what would it be?
The wedding day.
Yeah, you're not allowed to choose the whole bit.
Yeah.
The whole wedding day. That doesn't count.
I'm joking. I love my job. I'm just I like to play into the lazy reputation because
You like to set low expectations to wow.
it really sells me. Russell Kent Nicholls can people find you on Instagram?
They can do, yeah, because that's pretty much where I live. And I'm really sorry that my name is really long, but my Instagram handle is at Russell with 2 S's and 2 L's. Kent, as in the county that I live in. Yes, Nicholls, Nichols. So yeah, Russell Kent Nicholls.
Fab, thanks very much, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that can be the official ending. So thanks so much for listening. We really hope that you found this episode insightful, inspirational, and if you did enjoy that, then please consider subscribing to us wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. We're Think Wedding Business.
We're also on YouTube and Instagram, so if you want to watch us, you can go over to YouTube and find us at Think Wedding Business, and the same over on Instagram to keep up with all of our future episodes.
We'd really love you to subscribe and join us on this journey. And if you do like this content, please consider giving us a 5-star review. It just helps us get seen and helps spread the word.
So thanks again for listening,
Wings
and we'll see you
out.
next time.
Bye-bye.